keeping you connected in Northeast Wisconsin. You're watching NBC 26 Today.
Coming up, why dozens of doses of the coronavirus vaccine had to be thrown out at a hospital in Grafton. And how nursing home residents and workers here in Wisconsin are feeling this morning as they begin to receive their vaccines. And leaders with the Salvation Army saying their need is greater now than ever and how you can help out. All right, good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Brooke Hapes.
And meteorologist Michael Fish. There it is, Brooke.
There's the moon. It's going away. All right, it's pretty cold this morning. I really cranked the heat on my way here this morning.
You're right. I mean, the moon shows that the skies are clear, the winds are light, so our temperatures really tumbled. This is Green Bay right now. I mean, it's quiet, but it's 3 below zero. There's a tiny bit of a breeze in a few spots with a minor wind chill. Most of us have calm winds this morning. Now, that's the first story, is the early morning cold. The second is the snow that's already sneaking into Iowa. That gets here tonight. That's why most of our area winter weather advisories going into effect in the evening, and then they're going to last into tomorrow morning as well, as this snow is on the way. Let's time this out for you. It looks like around between 6 and 8 o'clock tonight it starts, and it's going to continue with most of it falling tonight. Overnight at around 3, 4 o'clock, a lot of it's starting to taper off into maybe a snow shower, a little freezing drizzle into tomorrow morning. Now, if it snows very heavily in southern Wisconsin, that's going to cut down our snow total. So going with 3 to 6 inches. And that doesn't mean that everyone sees 6 inches out of this, all right? That's why there's a range. And then the far north woods a little bit less by you. Though that's not here yet. So the daytime here going to be quiet. Where right now it's 7 degrees Oshkosh and Appleton, though it's 3 below in Clintonville and 6 below in Watoma. So chilly start. We only make it to 24 today. Snow gets here between 6 and 8 o'clock tonight. Brooke, I'll let you know we could see another round of snow coming up.
All right, thanks, Fish. Now, a new step this morning in the coronavirus vaccine rollout in Wisconsin. Pharmacies delivered the first doses to residents and staff at long-term care facilities. Mary Jo Ola talked to one of the first people to get one.
As part of a public-private partnership, Walgreens and CVS have begun providing free on-site COVID-19 vaccinations at long-term care facilities across Wisconsin. This was a day residents and staff at Marquezan Resident Home have been waiting for, the day they could get a vaccine against COVID-19.
Why did you want to get the vaccine in the first place?
Because I figured it'd get me out of here.
Resident Bonnie Ratliff says so far so good after she got her first dose.
If it keeps one person from getting it, you've done your thing.
It's been a long time coming.
Infection preventionist nurse Amy Newton says they've worked to educate residents and families about the vaccine and get consent. Newton says on day one, they gave shots to 21 residents and 54 staff members. In their case, CVS manages the vaccines and coordinates the clinic. The second dose is due in 28 days.
Really happy how everything went so smoothly. And I'm just glad, everybody can maybe take a little sigh of relief once this is all up and running for all the rest of the nursing homes. But we were super fortunate to be one of the first.
The vaccine is hope.
John Sauer heads Leading Age Wisconsin, a statewide association of long-term care providers. He cautions it's not time for anyone to let up on taking precautions just yet.
We are a ways away from defeating this virus, but it's within our grasp. We just have to have some level of patience, even though our patience is beyond tested right now.
And state health officials say 9 nursing homes started vaccinations on Monday. That number is expected to grow to 42 by the end of Thursday. The pharmacy distribution program for long-term care sites will take about 2 months to complete. About 500 doses of coronavirus vaccine had to be thrown away after a mistake at Aurora's hospital in Grafton. Aurora says vials were removed Saturday from a pharmacy refrigerator. An employee apparently took them out to get other items in the fridge, but never put them back. The state health department reported the second COVID-19 related death of someone under 20 years old. 18 others died in Wisconsin from the virus in the past 24 hours. More than 1,300 results came back positive. That is 1 out of every 4 tests taken. A historic moment for Wisconsin politics. The first Muslim elected to the state legislature has been officially sworn in.
I, Samba Balde,
who have been elected to the office of representative to the assembly,
who have been elected to the office of the representative
to the Assembly,
to the Assembly.
Democrat Samba Baldi was elected in November to represent Madison. The software engineer is a native of Gambia and served as an alderman before running to be the state representative. Still to come, a need for donations, how you can still help the Salvation Army reach its goals this year.
We're going to be dry during the day today, though it's between 6 and 8 o'clock tonight we get going with that snow. Most of it falling tonight. I'll let you know how much could fall and when we could see yet another round of snow here coming up.
Thanks for watching with us. The Transportation Security Administration says about 1.3 million people passed through airport security checkpoints on Sunday. That is the highest level of air travel since March 15th. Despite the high number of people traveling through the airport, it's still about half of the number of people who flew the same day a year ago. The Salvation Army's red kettles might have left the Green Bay community after the holiday, but the need certainly hasn't. In fact, officials say it's even greater than before. NBC 26's Kelsey Dickinson has more on what you can do to help.
People here at the Salvation Army of Greater Green Bay say they noticed a steep decline in red kettle donations this year, while at the same time an increase in community need, something they expect to continue throughout the new year. The Red Kettle campaign kicked off in mid-November, with about half the normal amount of volunteer bell ringers and less kettles throughout the community.
We knew that was going to be a challenge.
The Salvation Army of Greater Green Bay found other ways to raise the funds through virtual events and online donations, which helped bring the nonprofit 87% of the way to its campaign goal of over $1 million. That money funds Salvation Army programs and services like the food pantry and hot lunch program, both of which have seen increased demand.
When we used to be here in person in the building serving a sit-down lunch, we typically would see about 100 people a day. During COVID, for our drive-through lunch program, we have been serving about 250 meals a day.
It's not the only program to see more interest this year. Families signed up around 5,000 kids for the Salvation Army's Christmas toy distribution in December, about 20% more than last season.
We believe that the increased need is due to the pandemic. We know that there's people struggling out there, and maybe they didn't have to make the same choices in the past that they have to make right now. We believe that the need is still going to continue into 2021.
To help the Salvation Army of Greater Green Bay reach its Christmas campaign goal and in turn help people in need, you can still donate online to the virtual Red Kettle through the end of December. We'll have more information on where you can go to do that on NBC26.com. In Green Bay, Kelsey Dickinson, NBC 26.
All right, thanks, Kelsey. Now, the Red Cross Green Bay Winter Holiday Blood Drive wraps up today. It's being held from 10 a.m. until 3 this afternoon at the Ashwaubenon Community Center. If you want to give blood, appointments are encouraged. Walk-ins will be accepted as space allows to follow social distancing guidelines. The Red Cross says there's always a slump in donations around the holidays, but especially this year because of the pandemic. Still ahead, 2020 didn't stop with a global pandemic. There has also been some record-setting weather. We'll take a look at the top headlines of the year next.
It's cold out this morning. It's 3 below in Green Bay, or at least at the airport, 7 above Appleton and Oshkosh. Now the daytime's dry here. We go into the 20s. You see by 8 o'clock tonight that snow getting started. I'll time that out for you, let you know how much you could be shoveling here in a couple minutes.
Good morning. Coming up on today, the latest overnight on the push to increase those relief checks for millions of Americans to $2,000. But can it pass the Senate? We'll have the very latest.
And also ahead, after being grounded for 20 months, Boeing 737 MAX is set to carry U.S. passengers for the first time today. NBC's Sam Brock will be on that flight, and he's going to join us live.
Also, will you be taking a vacation in 2021? If we're lucky, we all will, right? Well, we're going to explore the potential future of travel in the new year and how the industry plans to make it easier and safer. We'll have that and more when we see you here.
You're watching NBC 26 Today with Abigail Hankey, Brooke Hafes, and meteorologist Michael Fish.
In New York City, people took out their frustrations with this unusual year by beating a 2020 piñata with a bat and shredding their worst memories. It was Good Riddance Day in Times Square, a day when people write down what they would like to leave behind and have it shredded, so hopefully it won't follow us into the new year.
Well, we had to cancel our honeymoon due to COVID-19, so we are hoping to shred that and then maybe go this summer somewhere fun.
I have a t-shirt printing business. It was kind of slow really slow this year, but we fought through it.
And some of the other things people are looking forward to putting behind them: COVID-19, obviously, political divisiveness, and remote learning. Along with a pandemic and a struggling economy, 2020 didn't stop there. A record-setting hurricane season and devastating wildfires brought additional challenges to Americans across the country. Daryl Forgas looks back at the year in weather.
The 2020 Atlantic hurricane season howled into the record books. In April, scientists said it would be a busy season, forecasting 16 named storms. But 2020 shattered those expectations. Every name in this year's list was crossed off, as well as the first 9 letters of the Greek alphabet. 2020 saw an historic 30 named storms, 12 of which made landfall in the U.S. And 5 of those made landfall in Louisiana. Hurricane Laura was the most devastating.
There's going to be places, whether it be rural or in a town, that are going to be unrecognizable.
For the first time in many years, we have activated the entire National Guard.
Laura roared ashore near the Louisiana-Texas border as a powerful Category 4 with 150-mile-per-hour winds. Buildings were shredded, homes were destroyed, and families lost everything.
Heartbreaking, heartbreaking. It looks like it came out of a horror movie. It looks like something that was made up from a horror movie, but it's not. It's real. Everything is just torn up. It's not the same place anymore.
Laura was the strongest hurricane to hit the state of Louisiana since 1856. At least 77 people were killed in the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and the U.S., and Laura caused an estimated $14 billion in damage in the U.S. During the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, a storm made landfall in the U.S. every month from June through November. And alerts were issued for nearly every mile of the coastline from Texas to Maine.
That's what led.
Then in California,
4 hours later, it's right here on their back door. It came too fast.
lightning sparked several fast-moving wildfires that ravaged communities across California.
This is the worst experience. Scary.
Hundreds of thousands of people were forced to flee, many of whom lost their homes.
Everything we owned is gone.
Thought we'd be able to go back home, you know, that they would save it, but not this time.
Weather conditions also made it hard for crews to contain the flames.
We've been battling some triple-digit heats for the first week of the fire.
That heat, combined with incredibly dry conditions, fueled the fires, and high winds helped the flames spread rapidly. More than 8,500 wildfires charred more than 4 million acres. I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
Now, a lot of that extreme weather doesn't always impact us here in Wisconsin, but I do remember when those wildfires were going on, we had those eerie sunsets. Do you remember that? And sunrises. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that shows how far weather can be affected away from an actual incident. And we've been quiet for a lot of our December, and now things are changing for us. Not so much this morning. Here's a look in Green Bay. It's dry, at least to start. Many spots, even though it's dry, some of our skies are clear. And with light winds, it's gotten cold. It's only 5 in Appleton. So the first thing is the cold start. The second thing is going to be snow. It's already to Iowa. It gets here tonight. And that's why most of our area winter weather advisories going into effect through the evening. And they're going to continue through the overnight and into tomorrow morning, because tomorrow morning we still could hold on to a little bit of drizzle, maybe a snow shower. Let's time out the main batch of snow for you. First of all, it's not going to be here during the day. It actually gets here between around 6 and 8 o'clock, depending on where you live. It's going to continue through then the evening, still snowing at midnight. And then as we head through the overnight hours, maybe around 3 o'clock, a lot of that's starting to taper off a little bit into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning still could be holding on to a little bit of freezing drizzle, some drizzle, or a couple stray snow showers. Most of this, though, is going to be falling tonight. How much am I thinking here? It actually depends on how heavy the snow band is going to be in southern Wisconsin. If they end up with a foot, what's going to happen is it kind of keeps our snow totals down. It stops a lot of that moisture from getting here. So 3 to 6 inches. That also does not mean that everyone sees 6 inches, okay? That's why there's a range here. The far north woods a little bit less. So again, it all depends on southern Wisconsin. Either way, by tomorrow morning, you're going to be shoveling, all right? Medium consistency out of this. All right, 25 degrees is supposed to be the average high. We'll be around average today. Yesterday, 26. You see more of those temperatures out to our west. And actually through the night, temperature is going to go up into the 30s. Well, now right now, it's cold out. 3 below at the airport in Green Bay. 8 below Oconto. Fond du Lac, the warm spot at 11, and it's 6 below in Wautoma. There's barely any wind, so wind chill not an issue this morning. So the snow gets here between 6 and 8 o'clock tonight, continues through part of the night before kind of tapering off a little bit overnight. 24 today, dry day. Snow gets here as we head through the evening. Several inches by tomorrow morning, I'm saying 3 to 6. And if there's a morning mix of a snow shower, a little bit of drizzle or freezing drizzle, that's going to come to an end. By the afternoon, maybe even a couple peaks of sun. All right, we have a quiet Thursday on tap. And then there's going to be another chance of some snow. Still kind of uncertain with that. That would be for our new year on Friday. And then the weekend's going to be quiet. So we got snow on the way, Brooke, and medium consistency in 30s in the morning. That's kind of snowman making snow.
Yeah, that's exciting. My kids will love that. They've already been out trying to sled in it, so, you know.
They get more.
Yes. All right, thanks, Fish. Still to come, with stimulus checks potentially on the way, why some in the restaurant industry say it's not enough. But first, let's take another live look outside on our Green Bay Tower Cam this morning. You're watching NBC 26 today. The time is 6:51. Stay with us. In today's top stories, a statement from Governor Evers said that a COVID-19 vaccination program began this week for long-term care residents in Wisconsin. As part of a public-private partnership, CVS and Walgreens have begun providing free on-site vaccinations at long-term care facilities. Marquezan Resident Home was among the first. They gave shots to 21 residents and 54 staff members. The second dose is due in 28 days.
If it keeps one person from getting it, you've done your thing.
Really happy how everything went so smoothly. And I'm just glad, everybody can maybe take a little sigh of relief once this is all up and running for all the rest of the nursing homes. But we were super fortunate to be one of the first.
State health officials say 9 nursing homes started vaccinations on Monday. That number is expected to grow to 42 by the end of Thursday. The pharmacy distribution program for long-term care sites will take about 2 months to complete. About 500 doses of coronavirus vaccine had to be thrown away after a mistake at Aurora's hospital in Grafton. Aurora says vials were removed Saturday from a pharmacy refrigerator. An employee apparently took them out to get other items in the fridge but never put them back. The state health department reported the second COVID-19 related death of someone under 20 years old. 18 others died in Wisconsin from the virus in the past 24 hours. More than 1,300 results came back positive. That's 1 out of every 4 tests taken. President-elect Joe Biden will look to boost the supply of coronavirus vaccines in the U.S. after he takes office. A member of his advisory board says he will likely invoke the Defense Production Act. That law essentially allows the government to make companies produce certain items in an effort to protect national security. The Department of Health and Human Services says the Trump administration has made this move more than a dozen times already. One could soon need to show proof of a coronavirus vaccination to travel or get into a movie or concert. The Common Trust Network and World Economic Forum partnered with hundreds of health systems and airlines to develop an app. It would allow users to upload medical data to create a health certificate or passcode to enter a venue or even another country. Big tech firms like IBM are also trying to develop a usable app. The second wave of stimulus checks are set to roll out soon, but some people are having mixed reactions about Congress's latest effort to help those affected by the pandemic. While the COVID relief package will help many, some in the restaurant and tavern industry say it is still not enough. The new COVID relief bill will provide another $284 billion in loans for small businesses through the Paycheck Protection Program. But a spokesperson for the Tavern League of Wisconsin, Scott Stanger, says that won't help. He adds that lawmakers should instead be focusing on the Restaurants Act, which would provide $120 billion directly to small taverns and restaurants.
The PPP is designed to keep employees working at businesses. Well, sadly, we don't have a business model that can have those employees working at our businesses. We have told them what we need, and despite that, nobody's doing anything.
Other changes made in this COVID relief package to help restaurants includes allowing them to borrow 3.5 times their payroll and enhancing the employee retention tax credit. The suspect in Sunday morning's shooting on West Walnut Street in Green Bay has been identified. According to Green Bay police, 29-year-old Tao Vang opened fire on 3 officers after a car chase. Those officers then fired back. Police say the standoff lasted nearly 4 hours before the man surrendered to authorities. Police say Vang has been wanted by police. No one was hurt in the incident. The Green Bay Public Works Department said crews were out as early as Saturday treating the roads ahead of Sunday's snowfall. While they say they're in great shape for their salt supply, they do have growing concerns for tonight's expected snowfall.
And we are still working on 2020's budgeted salt. We came out of the spring in really good shape, and we had full stores coming into the fall. So we're in really good shape relative to having enough salt to get us through right now.
Officials remind drivers to use caution and give yourself plenty of time to arrive to your destination. So it's time to remember how to drive in the snow.
Yeah, this one is going to be falling during the week, of course. So that means by tomorrow morning, if you're driving to work, you'll notice there will be a fresh blanket of snow. Now, it's not here yet. Actually, we're going to have a dry daytime here. And it's cold out, by the way. 2 below currently in Green Bay. It's only 5 above Oshkosh, Appleton, and 6 in Fond du Lac. Now, as far as the snow, here it comes between 6 and 8 o'clock tonight, and most of it is going to be falling through the night. By tomorrow morning, that should be working its way out of here. It looks like anywhere between 3 to up to 6 inches of snow for most of the area. If we see a lot of snow in the southern part of the state, that'll cut down our totals. Another chance of snow on Friday and the weekend. Actually, right now, looking quiet and not that cold.
All right, thanks, Fish, and thanks for watching NBC 26 Today. The Today Show starts now.